So hi everyone, on this video I will introduce to you the content of my lesson plan in direct version. So let's start. Mr. Juan de la Cruz, now lead the prayer. Good morning everyone.
Good morning po, sir. Good morning po, classmates. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Who are absent for today? So our lesson for today is all about direct variation. So the objective of the lesson. At the end of the lesson, the student will be able to illustrate situations that involve direct variation. B. Translate into two variation statements. A relationship involving direct variation between two quantities, table of values, mathematical equations, and graph, and vice versa. And C. Solve problems involving direct variation. So, it is important to have a basic knowledge and adverse effect involving problems, which can help to solve real problems. As we proceed to the next lesson, is there anything, any clarifications regardless to our last topic? What is your observation based on the photo, table, and the graph? Exactly. Anything else? Another interpretation. Yes, we can create a mathematical statement and represent in this relation by using mathematical operations in this case. So, how did you find the activity? I am sure that you did not find any difficulty in answering questions. The next activities will help you fully understand the concept behind these activities. So there is a direct variation whenever a situation produces pairs of numbers in which the ratio is constant. The thing is, the statement will be y varies directly as x, y is directly proportional to x, and y is proportional to x. So that we need to study this statement because it helps us to define our direct variation. Once you remember the statement, it would be easy to us to understand problem solving in real life situation involving direct variation. And for two quantities, x and y, an increase in x causes an increase in y as well. Similarly, a decrease in x causes decrease in y. So, in this variation, the relationship of two quantities are the same flow together. If the distance d varies directly as the time t, the relationships can be translated into mathematical statement d equals kt, where k is the constant of variation. Likewise, if the distance d varies directly as the rate r, the mathematical equations on the relations will be d equals kr. So, the graph above describes the direct variations on the form of y equals kx. So, your skills in recognizing patterns and knowledge in formulating equations, more detailed solutions problems, let us see how it is done. So, if y varies directly as an x and y equals 24 and x equals 6, so find the constant variations and the variation of equations. So the solution, express the statement y varies directly as an x as y equals kx. So second, solve for k by substituting the given values in equations. So here we go. So y equals kx, then 24 equals 6k, k equals 24 divided by 6 equals k equals 4. So our constant variation is 4. Then form the equation of variations by substituting 4 in the statement y equals kx. So we have y equals 4x. Gets? So another example. The table shows that the distance d varies directly less than t. So find the constant of variations and the equation of variations that describe the relations. Solutions. Since the distance d varies directly as the time t, then d equals kt. Using 1 pairs on values from the table 2 and 20, so substitute the values of d and t in d equals kt and solve for k. So d equals kt and 20 equals 2k, then k equals 20 divided by 2, so k equals 10. So therefore our constant variation is 10. And then form the mathematical equation of the variation by substituting 10 in the statement d equals k. So we have d equals 10 now. It's your turn to answer the activity. Take your time. If you have any clarification, don't hesitate to ask me, and I will provide and understand what have you learned. Having you developed the concept of direct variations, your goal now is to take closer look at some aspect in the lesson. This requires you to apply the concept in solving problem that follow. Thin cans of beverages collected for recycling purposes in many places in the Philippines. So in this activity, apply the direct variations in solving problems. Your groups will be at least 5. So write it in a clean sheet of paper and then write your names in a one part and attach it on the output so that it can easily to be checked. Submit it on my table and God bless you all. Your goal now in this section is to apply what have you learned in real life situation. This shall be one of your group output in your second quarter. A practical task will given to your group where each of you will demonstrate understanding and clarity and accuracy, and further supported through a mathematical justification along with your project stability and creativity. And your work shall be graded into rubric that prepared for this task. As your group activity, I want you to create a scenario of the task, paragraph forms incorporating graph. So present it together with your groups in the classroom and I give you 25 minutes to prepare. And I want you to make your presentation less than 10 minutes. So assignment, on a sheet of paper, summarize what have you learned in the lesson and then provide real life example and illustrate it using graphs, tables, and mathematical equations that showing a relationship of quantities. And that would be all for today. Goodbye class. See you next time.